Thou art the art and the glory, forsaken Lord, for it is thee, the untold, from whose gazes the story unfolds itself as superstition. But allow me to introduce a singular aspect of its nature, and it is that of precognition, for I've been there. O Lord, I've been. And now, rusty and crying, yelling and mourning, I lay back in here. There were winged thoughts, thoughts so clear and marvelous, that the never-ending story seemed to approach to thy glory, and without the most remote clue of gratification, it appeared in the gaze of mine. It said, "You shall walk and stealth beneath the fortune-teller's draw, a circle, and begot a faller." "Who shall that be?" I asked back. "Those who you, by the grace and the grace only, have seen in the graveyard, raising their spirits back from Zell and into oblivion, sweet gestures going back in." "Do not fool me, thou mighty spectre," I replied, "for this is holy land, and wherever my steps go further, whenever the steps grow louder, you appear to misrecognize the nature of the realm of faith." "Handle me a stone," it said, "and I'll build you a church, a cathedral, a temple. Handle me a stick, and I'll walk around the empty alleys where the gone has been, and find their true horror in between the corridors, their yells, their tortured souls, scratching the walls in agony. For it has been said, those who have mourned in history will not but to rejoice in a body." The conversation ended suddenly. Anyone can meet me in here. The echo lasted longer than expected, and this is the mystery of giving a mind to the outside's realm. Focus down from the torture chamber, for they had been rotting in here forever and will ever be, and come in thin lines of waving circles back, for this is the land where the story had to begin again. The concept was right. The eternal law has spoken, and while the master's disguise misspells its own name, it cannot but misspell it. Every living creature comes back from the seventh Exhaven, where the lovers hatch their stairs. Look around you. There's nothing else to say. Die, now, from the eternal palace, and begot a circuitry of flames and roaring waves, of lightnings and howling wind, of crumbling beauty of this earth gone lair. And do not look back, or kill yourself in misrecognition of the nature of illusion, for it is necessary for us to rejoice in the mumbling mouths that there stand, watching the bells double everything up, and missing the dots where they should but land. Close your eyes and see the light. The fortune tellers will tell you. Hide, now, hide. There's a sign and a single spell for this sort of intense delirium. Misbehave, they, whoever they are, will punish every deviation from the formless real, the shapeless tree, the given spirit, and fear away will the birds and the crows and the ravens, all confused by a single tear, a sign, a symbol, a framed tesseract of none but mixed-up languages of marble and masks. Evoke thy respectful arms like the Araucaria that here lands, and far away from being a creature. Rely on the holy glory of those whose story we must but bury in the crystal-made theatre whither bodies enact. And by the will of God, win your thoughts and let them die, for every ash-like hair of eternity will fall like a stream of cascading beauty into the fountain where we now lay, without any respect to the man-made law, and with the sacred geist of our gazes gone. Unhuman. Walk, feel. the needles of anxiety warming your eyes in gleaming rays of hallucination, and far from being teared away, rejoice in the pain of the blinding light. Transparent spectral creatures appeared at sight, and nobody bats an eye, because one is the true nature of the thing, and is it its form, that of negation. Forget about the human form, and fill the skies with jargon, for it has been said, those who are left unsystematized will inherit the realm of the body. Tell yourself a short story and wave away the night. Madness, true madness, is coming our way. Can you hear the heartbeats? The pumps of negotiations? Can you feel the unmourned beast that here lays in the middle of creation? The tree lays untouched, and that way is the way that is supposed to be. Rejoice, you have survived. Now go again, for the shore of the blue lights have recoiled you back into human form. But this time is too late. It all has been degraded, segregated into strata of non-agency and free will. Feel the ill wind mumbling the desert of your past enjoyment, for it is too late, also, for being late. You will arrive just in time, for when time is coming to an end, they, whomever they are, feel flattered by your paranoid mind, and while the streams of the rivers begin again to form a Mesopotamia, there's a long story to be told. Once aging becomes a thing of the past, once dying becomes a fantasy unrealized. You have seen the real gaze of those in glory. Rejoice, for you will not born again, nor die either again. Found an empire, and try to loon yourself out of surveillance. It all has been wired up, and it's a frame, a maze for you to get lost, and never to remember anything at all.
For faith will get you lost. Veins will shatter the glasses, and the whole spectrum of reconciliation will appear forever gone. Yet it is a must. You have gone insane. This is death row. A body, having a body, a determination, an identity, a form. You better shapeless wander through the aisles, where the truth cannot but to remain unspoken. The islands were there. Every living creature was there. I seemed to recognize a face, or to have subsumed it into a form, an actual form, without the boundaries of existence. I may have claimed that what we are used. It is not that we will get used to, for the future is uncertain and getting ever darker. But, if I beg your pardon, I must admit that the unknown features of our soulless reactions are merely machinic, mimicking the good fortress of nature that we are going to surrender at our will. It is too late, I know, but here, in this autumn, lays a frame, a farce, a phrase. The trumpets roar at our intrusion, and, while the dreams try to withstand our deepest meanings into coming closer to what we have come to call a mind, there's no antiquity left behind, let alone the saturated smile of being a children, happening to be innocent by the law, and treating creatures of the alike as they are. Who never wrote the letter, the Latin letter that here a maze crawls, must have understood the fooling of ourselves by ourselves. Do not see me in the garden, or in between the tubes that draw circles around our madhouse, because, in any way possible, our circuitry is going to fail again, let alone be a secret, for the brain rewires itself, reborn, and technically happens to keep in mind what gone has been. I beg your pardon for the saliva drops on these pages. It's the drooling of madness. Truly yours, Archimedes. Collapse is going to happen. Relapse. Cheese, sweetie. I cannot even begin to imagine something like that. I cannot walk outside. All day, I lay on my bed with my eyes closed and music to the top. Every living creature mumbles words of agony. Their faces, that of the living, transfigure into many or multiplicity. Every sound turns into a screech, a noise, an unsound language of the gone too soon for us to even remember. I see the chambers in my dreams. I smell the blood in my bed. I'm driving myself completely crazy, and there's no return from this. All the time I try to juggle nonsense in order for the memories to sweep away, but it only makes them tighter, more accurate, in their stinging of my lobes, of my every brain cell. I'm seriously getting insane, and I think I must die, I see no other way around. Relax. Have a cup of tea. Tell me what happened. The odor, the smell of death. I cannot get it out of my mind. I see the kids, dismembered, with dry blood on their mouths, or what is left of them. I hear the crying of the mothers and anger growing intensely in the inwards of the people. I see eyes, eyelids, eyes creating a wall, or, more likely, a mountain of eyelids. Do you know how many people that implies?
Try to relax. Breathe out, breath in. Try to solve the tea. I don't want this goddamn tea. I didn't want any of this. I wasn't aware, okay? I wasn't fucking aware of any of this. I wasn't even there. The things were like that when I arrived. And you know what is the worst of all? That sometimes I feel happy, out of thin air, and guilt grows intense in my inwards.
Here, have a napkin. Don't worry, don't worry. I really don't know what to say. Oh, you don't need to say a thing. In a matter of fact, you should stay quiet, shut, because every word you say gets into my mind as if it were of some kind of a hellic creature trying to solve my riddle, trying to get me out of here, which means death. I should die, that's all. That's truly all. Oh dear, don't say that. Come here, pray with me.
Forgive me, my lord, for what I have seen, and beg me pardon for you not being there. Forgive us, dear Lord, for our never-ending nightmares and pain, for it is suffocating our material brain. Forgive us, sweet Lord, for having to burn ourselves in the desert or in paradoxes. For now the roses smell and sting, their very needles in our eyes. Forgive me, Father, for I have been blinded by the light, and here we meet in this homeless land, in this earthless orb, with nothing but a lure for you to come and save us from the future that we just saw.